This podcast contains explicit language, alcohol references, and fantasy violence descriptions. Viewer discretion is advised.
I as I'm doing that, I have my sword in my hand. Just
We'll deflood the surface.
and they're ready and prepared to do whatever it takes to get you up top.
This is a better depiction of me than I would have thought you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ursa Red Cloud Walking. I am your GM for this series. My name is Alexander Crutchfield, and today I am joined by Zach Stubbs.
I'm gonna be playing Enzio.
I'm joined by Dean Balter.
Hey everyone, I'm Dean Balter, and I will be playing Torbides.
I'm also joined by Kent Rawlings.
hello, everyone. Today I am continuing playing Roland Blacksteel.
In our last episode, you guys were at the political power. We did some interacting with different people. We learned kind of about a sketchy type lobbyist named Mayek, who works for Arlox Nutrition, the famous makers of Goop. We watched as Enzio went down to the rise, and we got our first kind of glimpse of that environment. And he, uh, let's say, finishes loose ends with Aaron. We then went back up. We started, we heard quite a bit about the plans of your guys' political campaign and how things were going to go for there. And then you guys decided that you wanted to go eat, and we left off with you guys walking to it was the building for the surface, correct?
Yes.
You guys, as you're walking across the little campus area for the Capitol, you're going to notice that there's a large crowd of people waiting to enter into the Senate building.
That seems odd. Is it? I thought it was still closed off.
It is just opened. So people that were in the area are like, "Oh, hey, it's open," and then just went back in. That no one told anyone. So, are you guys still going to go to the surface building, or do you want to change to go to the Senate and explore one of those restaurants?
So Torbides is gonna send a message to uh to Xander and see if he would meet us at one of the restaurants in the building.
Okay. Uh, let's see. There's Glass House, Fantasia, and the Southern Blend. Sure.
What's the what's the most fancy?
I'm gonna go with Fantasia.
All right, so he's gonna send a message to Xander saying to meet him at Fantasia, and he's gonna start walking towards that way and have let Roland and Enzio know.
Okay. You guys are going to approach the door. There's a crowd there. Are you guys waiting for the crowd, or are you gonna kind of push your way through?
Oh, I'm totally gonna try to cut the crowd.
We'll let Roland be the one just lifting people
Pushing
out of the
people
way.
out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the way. Hey, listen. We have reservations. Excuse us. Excuse us. Thank you. I as I'm doing that, I have my sword in my hand, just walking with it.
Oh boy. Uh, you guys are gonna work your way into the lobby. I mean, you are a senator. This is basically a quarter your building. Um, and so you guys get inside. You get on the elevator, and you get to the floor with Fantasia. When you enter, this is gonna be more on the high end dining side, so there's going to be lots of tables kind of spread out in the like round tables where there's multiple seats around so that you can see everybody as you're talking. Little table decorations in the middle, plates with no food on them, and silverware and things like that. They were like get always ready to serve more food. So when it closed down, they just kind of cleaned up what was on the tables. And as soon as the rest of the staff gets up here, you'll be ready to order. Of course, the plate that's there, they don't actually put food on it. They put other plates on it because fancy restaurant.
Is this the kind of restaurant that has like a ton of silverware?
Oh yeah, you depending on which type of lettuce is in your salad, you're probably going to be using a different fork. So, uh, good luck there. And you guys kind of get in there. The maitre d isn't there yet, so uh, one of the like waitresses that works there is just like, you can sit where you want, and kind of walks off, going and starting to get the business running again. So this place isn't normally closed because there's no nighttime, so they don't really have a great way of like understanding how to start the day. Um, Closing down was weird enough.
Hmm.
Well, I think this time is as good as ever, Torbanese. I'd like to discuss with you a matter that we talked about earlier. Um,
Roland. Before we start talking, let's first take a seat.
yeah. I mean, I figured I would let you know before we took the seat.
Okay. What is this urgent
Over
matter?
here, come, and I sit down at the table near a window.
So you're
All
taking a
right.
seat.
Yes, I am actively taking a seat.
Well, it's a good thing we took a seat, Roland.
That's what I'm here for. Make sure you seat and stand properly. So, Torbanese, the matter that we discussed earlier about sending out a mass message to all the people about holding a rally, also with some safety stuff, or I don't know. I kind of overheard that part. I came up with some ideas. Would you like to hear them?
I would love to hear what your ideas are.
All right, so this is what I'm thinking. I think that we catch the viewers or the audience's attention with some safety messages. I have a couple of them written down. Just mustered some thoughts as we were walking over here. I have one. It says safety glasses. All in favor, say aye. Yeah. I think that would definitely catch some attention. Um, Shortcuts cut life short. I mean,
Mm.
it's very simple, straight to the point. Um, your wife will spend your 401k if you get killed at work today. So, that's another one. These, the way that I'm thinking is if I read these, I'm like, hey, these are very true. Like I should actually be thinking about this when I'm going to the job. I've got a couple more here. Safety is simple as ABCs. Always be careful. And safety is a mission, not an intermission. And then, so what I'm thinking is after that, we follow it up with a message about the rally. And it says, join us at the rally for Torbanese. Attention, all Torbanese supporters. The time has come to stand together. Join us as we rally for a brighter future and unite our voices as one for a change. And then we list the time, date, and place. What do you think, Torbanese? I can say I think I'm a genius.
I think that you've spent a lot of time on this. I really appreciate your hard work and effort. Um, you know, I'll take it into consideration. Do you mind if I see that list?
Yeah, I hand it over to Torbanese.
Torbanese is gonna take the list and he's just gonna kind of like put it underneath the plate, hoping that Roland doesn't see. So when they leave, that he just leaves the list underneath the plate.
Roland is currently looking out the window with his hands behind his head, and he just feels like the most accomplished member of society at this moment.
And Torbanese is gonna look over at Enzio too and just be like, ABCs always be Cafe?
Okay. It's got some merit. There's truthfulness to it.
There is truthfulness.
See?
That is
Enzio-
Always be careful does start with A, B, and C.
I knew Enzio had a good head on him. He definitely wears his safety glasses. He's got both of his eyes right there.
Roland's gonna, or Roland, Jesus, I'm gonna speak for Roland now. Torbanese is gonna kind of flip open the menu and skim through it, and he's gonna also ask Enzio what he's found so far in his investigation.
It's been surprisingly lack of information. You would think that given the high stakes of the circumstances that we would have a pretty clear understanding, but everybody seems to have a different idea of exactly what's going on, and it's making it, I wouldn't say difficult, it's making it complicated to try and unweave the tangle, try and find our little nugget of truth that we need.
Interesting. I don't know if you guys have noticed on the walk over here, but I think we may need to fire Aaron. I mean, he has not put up a single poster that I'd asked him to put up. I don't see anything.
I
on the
wasn't there for
streets
that
at all.
conversation. What are the posters supposed to be?
I thought the same thing. What a failure.
Absolutely. The posters were supposed to go up to
Just big
advertise a little bit.
picture
forward.
of you, just
Absolutely.
the Torbanese has got your back kind of thing.
Well, so the actual plan was we sent a message to Aaron about putting up an open door policy
Oh, okay.
flyer.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that way
okay.
we could bring lobbyists and other people that need to voice their.
Then you're saying Torbanese that he hasn't done that yet?
There's no flyers up at all.
I haven't seen a single one, and I have been looking.
Wow, typical. He did seem a bit off earlier today. Did you see him at the bar?
Yeah, he rushed in at one point and tried to talk, and then it didn't really bother me too much. I'd rather converse with the other politics.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw him when he entered the door. He looked kind of sick or weird looking. I don't know. I just kind of caught a glimpse of him, and then he went back outside. But yeah, I definitely saw him. He looked kind of weird in the face, but you know, I didn't care.
Well, he'll definitely be feeling bad if he doesn't start putting up those posters. And what's on the menu?
I was gonna ask you guys what you wanted to order, and just see what you guys came up with. What do you guys eat?
Before we discuss food, Torbanese, would you like me to try and actually go find Aaron? I mean, this guy just kind of isn't doing his job. He's nowhere to be found. Like, you want me to go look for him?
I think we can hold off on that for now. We can continue working and getting more people on our side, and if Aaron can't finally do his job, I mean, we're just gonna have to fire him at this point.
Okay, fair enough. I will take the
It's
salad.
entirely possible he's putting up the posters.
I don't know. He's usually running everywhere. Didn't see him running once.
It's a fair point.
Oh yes,
you said you
Mr.
want the
Waiter.
salad?
Yeah, the crouton crunch.
Crouton crunch. And would you like those croutons natural or synthesized?
I want those soft. They hurt my gums when they're crunchy.
Synthesized it is. Okay. What about you two?
I will have the white truffle bluefin tuna, please.
Tuna. Roger. Mr. Senator, what planet would you like that tuna from?
Hmm. What do you guys have in season for this year?
It's
day.
all current. It is in fact tuna season right now.
Perfect. And what planet do you usually? What's the rarest one?
I believe Ziphanes.
I'll take one of them
Okay.
and just put it on the Senate. It's on our office.
Oh,
You know what
naturally,
it's good
of
for.
course, of course. And you?
I'm actually not feeling particularly hungry at the moment. Do you mind if we just get a bottle of red for the table?
Yes, absolutely.
The most fancy one.
Of course. And disappears into the back. You guys are going to see like the maitre d is reappeared, and Xander and two of his bodyguards are going to come out of the elevator and walk up to the maitre d and be like, "Ah, I'm looking for Senator Torbanese," and the guy's gonna look and be like, "Haven't seen him." Oh wait, yeah, they sat themselves. They're over there, Senator. And he's gonna walk past the maitre d and come over and take a seat. His two bodyguards are gonna kind of just stay standing a little bit away, probably like uh 8 to 10 feet away, just you know, hovering but not like looking over his shoulder kind of thing.
Not ordering crouton salads at the table.
No, that's it's not their thing.
Interesting.
But it's
So that's how the
Rollins.
other bodyguards behave.
Hello, Xander. How's it going? Please take a seat, take a load off, order some food. Try to enjoy the delicate things in life while you're here.
Did you already order?
We did, and we also got a bottle of the finest red. So have as many drinks as you'd like.
Let's cut to it, Torbanese. What's this about?
So, you know as well as I do that the Cloud Senator Leonis is obviously going to do everything he can so that he can become the next chancellor. And this is going to be terrible for both of us. He's going to exude his power. He's going to invite all of his best friends to be the members of his cabinet, just as every other chancellor has. And I think we can finally make a difference on Ursa Red. I think by working together, we can make Ursa Red great again.
And when you say Ursa Red, you plan on resuming work to get rid of the water on the surface?
Of course, I would love nothing more than for our surface to be inhabited again, being able to use for food, water, and have maybe even plenty of people living back on the surface.
But you also represent the rise. So
Of
wouldn't the
course.
surface pose competition for?
I think that by working together, we can make the Cloud what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a governing body that is for all of the people, not just for themselves. And what we can do is we can make the surface just as valuable as the rise. And by working together, maybe after I become chancellor, you can be bumped up in office. We can put you on the cabinet.
Hmm. I see.
Chancellor Xander, if I may, have you already been approached by Chancellor Leonis with a similar deal?
Uh,
He's a senator.
Same thing.
I have, and the deal seemed a little bit more straightforward with him, but it seemed a little too straightforward.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean, you're promising me something that is conflicting to your interests. His seemed very much like, oh, I can do this easily because I have no interest in I find that in some ways harder to trust. That makes sense.
I see. Look, from every interaction that we've ever had, and from all of the people that have worked with you, I've only heard great things, and that you care truly for the surface. And although it may not be in my best interest, it is the best interest of all of Ursa Red.
I believe that's true. I I guess what my questions now are, what would you need from me, and what can you do for me preceding the election?
So my first action, I I think one of the best actions I could take as after becoming chancellor is to prioritize making the surface inhabitable again. We have their best engineers and best biotech to go down to the surface, try to make the generators work again, take as much of the water off the planet as possible so it becomes habitable again, and using bioengineers to regrow and re-establish a working farmland for the surface.
Have you talked to Chuck about any of this?
Chuck, I mean, I haven't talked to him yet. I did tell him prior to talking to you that I'd like to have a conversation with him, but I have not had the opportunity to fully explain what I'm planning.
Well, I would be careful to bring this up around Chuck if I were you.
And why do you say this?
Because based off of the research done by a team that Chuck and I looked into a while ago, because he was trying to get the non-prisoners out of the under, because I don't know, someone got him drunk and made him believe he cared, but we looked at this team and what their data said, and basically turning on the generators right now will deflood the surface, but it will completely submerge the under.
I see. Well, this does make sense, but as I said, it'll be a work in progress. We'll make sure that we have the best engineers and the best biotech that are on this. So we will do what's in the best interest of everyone. But I have talked to you first, and I believe our interests are well more aligned.
I agree. Uh, your food's gonna come out, and he's gonna stand up and say, "Well, Torbanese, it's been a pleasant conversation. If you don't mind, I need to head to my building, and I need to talk to my council about what we think for the surface the best plan moving forward is." And he's gonna get up and head to the elevator.
So as he's walking out, Torbenese is gonna fill up a glass of the red wine and yell out, Xander. He's gonna hold up the glass as like a toast, almost like that, and he's gonna be like, "Remember, a vote for Torbenese is a vote for Ursa Red." And he's gonna take a sip.
Uh, he looks back at you, and then he kind of smirks and gets on the elevator heading down.
That went pretty well. That wasn't too bad, right?
Your guys' food is now on the table in front of you.
Roland is gonna get up and excuse himself. He needs to use the restroom. And he's gonna walk away from the table. And we're in the Senate building, correct?
Yes,
The one that just opened up.
correct.
So as Roland's walking away, before he exits the room, he's gonna use cast telepathic utterance to Enzio, and he is going to say, "I'll be back. Protect Torbanese at all cost." And then he's gonna go down the hallway, and he's going to look for the Clouds office, senator's office, and he's going to try and get into their office.
Okay. So the Cloud Senator's office isn't in this building.
Mm,
This has like the Senate chamber,
okay.
along with a bunch of supporting facilities.
Mm,
Each senator has their own tower that they're with its own supporting facilities that they're in
mm.
charge of. So in the same way that Torbanese has a tower for the Rise, the Cloud has its own tower.
Gotcha. Well, then Torbanese is gonna. Or, I mean, I'm sorry. Roland is gonna go to the Senate Commerce where they discuss stuff, and he's
Mhm.
going to plant a little camera on. I'm assuming there's like a bookshelf or something in that.
Yeah, there's like shelves lining the walls and things like that. A lot of them show pictures, like have little picture frames of senators from the past. There's a few books. Where do you want the camera aimed at?
I want
So,
it aimed. Go ahead.
some points of interest for you might be like where the chancellor would stand, or where the Cloud Senator sits, where Torbanese sits, where the bookkeeper sits, like things like that. There's also like a viewing area behind where they all sit, where uh, advisors and their cabinets, council members can sit. But so like those are some points of interest that you might want to aim at. If you think of something different, feel free to.
So Roland wants to place this camera. Pretty much, I want to put it actually under the table. So this camera, it's just a small little like hidden camera, picks up
Mhm.
audio and video. I want to place it almost under the table, directly where the Cloud Senator sits.
Okay, like facing his
Yeah,
front.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's no, no, not like that. I want it. I basically want to pick up any audio because I'm assuming when the senators meet and stuff, they have their own, party members like around them. So just want to be able to listen in on any information that he's discussing private-ish between his counsel.
Okay. Sounds good.
Not pointed at his dick though. I want it pointed at maybe his belly. And then
Yeah.
hey, we do what we got. And then Roland's gonna head back to the dinner table
Okay.
or lunch table.
What were you guys doing in the meantime while he was doing that?
I was picking out the good croutons out of his salad and eating and snacking on them while we talked and drinking the wine.
Okay. So all three of you are now back at the table.
I'm gonna raise my hand and flag the waiter down.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, good sir. This salad does not have very many croutons on it. I would really appreciate if I could get a bowl of extra soft croutons.
Absolutely. And is gonna walk back into the bag and is gonna come out almost immediately with a bowl of soft croutons and puts it down on the table and says, "You know, this happens every time you stand up from the table, right?" And then just
No,
kind of like turns and walks back into the kitchen.
Roland just starts dumping croutons back on his salad and begins to eat his salad.
Thought you were just gonna ignore the salad and go for the bowl of croutons.
Thought about it.
That's what I thought too.
I totally thought about it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna at least Torben is gonna sit there and kind of enjoy his fish and truffle, and then he'll look over at Enzio and Roland, and actually he's gonna look over at Enzio and he's gonna ask about if he had gained any more like knowledge or anything from what was the name of the company?
Jagex Manufacturing?
Which one was the car one?
Yes, yeah, that's the car one.
Jagex?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know you told me
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
where I just came from in the meeting. Yeah, and I assume that probably while Roland was gone, I'd be going over all of this. So they're going to be providing all of your transportation. We do have to just put your two current Atticus vehicles into storage, but they're going to be handling all of that, and they said that they'd be willing to provide even more financial investment if need be. So I think we can leverage them to try and put together the more necessities of the rally other than just bringing the people together. Get them to provide a lot of the extra means for that. I think they were a very willing sponsor, and they're ready and prepared to do whatever it takes to get you up top.
Were you able to ask them whether or not they're going to be sponsoring any of the other senators, or is it just going to be our party?
That didn't come across as something that would be a problem. I can double check with them. I'll still be in contact with them as we set up all crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and I can get back to you on that. But from what I gather, they're a Rise company and they want the Rise to succeed, and they're looking at you.
This is good. This is good. Just let me know if you do end up finding out if they are going to be supplying any rides to any of the other senators.
Excellent. I can do that. We should also. I'll look into what Atticus plans to do as well, because as soon as they find out that we've snubbed them, they're probably going to look to someone else.
That is worthwhile. I appreciate that.
Everybody is going to receive a notification on their device. This has been kind of like pre-programmed. it's going to inform you that in a month and a half, right? So roughly 45 days, there will be an election for the next chancellor, right? Kind of like an emergency election. And each of you has been given a place to appear in order to vote. So, Torbanese, yours, Senate building. You just have to go upstairs and to the Senate chamber, and you can vote. Enzio, you're going to go to a place that you were probably familiar with when you were like a child, like a little community center type thing on the rise. Roland, yours is at the train's terminal for the surface. This is where people from the surface will go to vote.
Okay, and this is in 45 days, right?
45 days. We're not going to play all of that. We are going to simulate in between things.
Of course, yeah.
And just kind of hit like the big events, 2K style, simulate to next practice. So, is there anything you guys want to do before we start jumping around?
Yeah. So, question: I'm assuming like each, I guess like the rise, like each section, they have like their own, I guess military, not military, but like they have like a police force, right? And, like maybe a military per, I guess, city or stage.
So almost all of that is handled by corporations or private parties.
Mm-hmm.
So up here, like you have security in your building, right? You like your taxpayers' money it like pays for that. When you get down a level, it's paid for by the corporations who use it how they will. So sometimes it's used to protect their factory or their board members. Sometimes it's used as an actual like police force on the walkways of the rise. There doesn't appear to be any major law enforcement on the surface because even though there are certain like established like little colonies or villages on some of the parts that were not submerged. So these were once like plateaus and things like that, elevated areas. Um, a majority of civilization on the surface is tribes that have formed of just like people getting together and then they have mastered watercraft and started sailing around. They often uh, raid these colonies and things like that just to help their own survival. But yeah, so and then down in the under, that is straight up like those corporation law enforcement that I talked about. The under is their prison. They supply it, and most of it is going to be uh, Neocorp.
Okay. Could I, during these 45 days, like hire a, like, I guess, security-ish company, but like something that's more closer to like a militant kind of company, um, and just like use them as people to be like, I guess, around like events and stuff for like, big event security type stuff, but like people
Yeah.
that are
Perimeter.
hired to like do exactly what I say.
Yeah, you could probably talk to any of the corporations about supplying that. And they're gonna have people to do that kind of thing. Um, Obviously, the most experienced is gonna be Neocorp because they are often sending people down. They also have some pretty rigid policies when it comes to their employees that they enforce
Okay, and they
24/7.
Neo Neocorp is a Rise company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to hire like Neocorp, um, for I guess yeah their their security, and strict discipline to do as I say.
Okay. Uh, but is there like anything that you want to do like at this moment?
Mm, I mean, after talking to Xander, probably at some point go talk. If it doesn't have to be at this moment, it could be like a few days later. But go in and talk to Chuck.
Okay. Roland and Zio, is there anything that you guys want to do at this moment?
I would likely, not necessarily at this moment, but my next mission would kind of be trying to see what Senator Leonas's plans are and what he has going on, and trying to infiltrate and find out kind of information on that. Basically, would be my next mission would be just trying to see what the opponent is up to.
Okay. Uh, so just kind of like through your network, he's doing a similar plan as you. He's planning on having a rally. He's not planning on having a rally in the Rise. It's going to be in the Cloud. Uh, it's going to be over near the housing area. Um, there are also some things that he has taken over in the absence of the Chancellor, such as meeting with uh, ambassadors from other planets. Um, it may not be the worst idea to try to get Torbanese in with some of the ambassadors just to show face and things like that. He has also tried, like, you did stumble in on him talking to name uh Dameron, trying to get some kind of broadcast for like in public image on like TVs and things like that that do exist on the Rise in the Cloud, because uh he's very much only focused on the Cloud and trying to get a little bit of sway from the Rise. He's not he doesn't seem to care about the surface or the under at all.
I think we might need to have some of that security be ready to make sure that the voting is secure as well. We need to establish and make sure that Leonis isn't trying to pull anything. You should win the Rise by a landslide, given that's your wheelhouse. If he puts all of his eggs into the Cloud basket, there's no way that he could plan on winning without any support from the Rise. So he's got to have some other tricks up his sleeve that we need to make sure that we're prepared for.
I do agree that he will use some type of trickery, but I know that the Rise is secured. We just need to make sure that all of the other sectors are also secured, and I think I can deal with Leonis.
All right. Roland, are you doing anything like that day?
Nope. Roland's just making sure Torbanese stays alive.
Okay. Roughly 3 days later, so 42 days from election day, Torbanese, you are in your office and you've already contacted people about security. It does look like Neocorp will be able to provide people pending something else that they're currently focusing on. You do have a backup uh, with Arlox Nutrition. So the nutrition company also has a pretty decent security thing, and so that's just kind of like a backup option. You are going to be reading a bill, and the bill is going to be talking about the amount of like taxes to be collected by the family in the under, the financing for new or my bad for security revisions to uh, the colonies on the surface. There's not really going to be too much about what's happening on the rise. There is a shareholder report, so you can just kind of see how companies are doing. And then there's a new import and export tax proposed. So it looks like there were like this bill's been floating around for a while. If you want, you can suggest changes. You can also just propose a new bill to replace this one and try to get people to vote. There's options there that you can do. And with no chancellor right now, everything that gets passed by the Senate is automatically put into law. So you guys sign it, submit it to the bookkeeper. Bookkeeper files it away in some magical place. Is there anything that you want to do to this bill? If you want, you can converse with Enzio and Roland. There are also two members of your cabinet who probably not here. You know, we're just not even going to see them this whole campaign. If you want, you can talk to Enzio and Roland. But if there's any changes you want to make, let me know, and I will roll a dice to let you know whether it gets approved or not.
Okay. Question. Just I don't know if Torbanese would know this or not, but like the families that are in the under, do they know what's going on in the under, or they just still like only know what's going on in the under?
The families only know, like they know that they have to pay, like the risers as they call them, in order to maintain.
Like they're like maintain like their power, I guess, down there.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't really know what's going on down there, but they do know that they're like they do get set a quota for how much money they need to submit, and if they don't reach that, then the rise sends down people to basically punish the families. But
Okay.
the families have been making their quota pretty consistently. So like that's kind of maybe what prompted this bill is they're like, hey, they've been meeting this pretty consistently. Maybe we could bump it up.
Okay. And then
This definitely seems like a bill that was lobbied. Probably like a little while ago. But there's no real changes, so you know, like to them paying on time. So the bill keeps resurfacing. It's just a matter of like trying to figure out all of the stuff. So it keeps like you guys will come to a decision and you would pass it, but then it would get vetoed by the chancellor. So because for some reason this is like the one bill he's read in his time as chancellor.
And for the import export tax, is that between like the rise and the cloud and all them, or is this coming from like other worlds?
This is from other worlds, but you do have quite a few corporations that do export to other places. You also know that like Arlox Nutrition is trying to break into the interplanetary market. Jagex is probably pushing that way because Atticus made that move a few decades ago, and so they're probably going to try and catch up. Atticus is already interplanetary. Crew is interplanetary. In fact, like they are like they origin from another planet. And Neocorp doesn't seem to have too much interest in going interplanetary, but that is like a Ursa Red company that at one point might. So if however, those companies' import export taxes would go help fund the rise, like representative position and things like that. So if you approve it, you get a pay increase. If you don't approve it, you don't decrease shareholder value.
Mm.
So it's that's kind of a tough one on as far as that goes.
So I think, I mean, he'll probably converse with Enzio and Roland, just because they're in the office as well, and he likes to hear himself talk, and he'll kind of explain everything to them that he read off of the bill, and he's gonna ask Enzio specifically. So, what do you think? I'm of the impression that if we keep at least the part of the bill that the under continues to bump up their pay, but we try to at least take away the import export tax, I think this may end up gaining us some favor with
Some of
not
the
only
companies in
our
the rise.
own rise. Sorry, say that again.
Gain us favor with companies within the rise.
Exactly, and not just the rise, but also gain us favor for the other world. The companies from other worlds. So especially for crew, like if we do this, then they have to spend less money on taxes by providing their services here, and that may help us. To persuade them to press my message across their service.
The question is how long do you have before you need to sign it? Can you utilize that exact point you have made to go to them and leverage that?
Well, since there's no chancellor here to force me to sign it right now, I think I can take my time to at least converse with the company before signing.
The next Senate meeting is tomorrow.
Torbanese is gonna message Dameron and let him know there's a urgent matter that he'd like to speak to Dameron's boss about, and that this could drastically affect their income.
Okay. He is going to let you know that he's currently at the Rise at the main company.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to respond and let you know that his boss would like to invite you to crew infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
in order to talk about not just this, but previous discussions about political support. So you would be going and meeting with the CEO and majority shareholder of, or not majority shareholder, the franchise owner of Crew Infrastructure.
He'll message him back and say that he accepts this meeting.
Okay. So you've got a little bit of time before you would need to take the train down there to go meet with him. What are you guys kind of like thinking about doing in the meantime? Now, keep in mind with this bill, you do also have the option of not signing it. Like, you have the option of revising it, and you can also add a rider to it. So you could take something that's unrelated to the bill and just sneak it in.
I think we go to them exactly with that. That not really interested in signing it as is because we know that it would hurt corporations like them. We don't need additional funds for the Senator of the Rise if you take the seat of Chancellor. Because then that's someone else taking advantage of those extra funds. Turning down additional funds for that position in order to achieve the seat is exactly what we'd like to do.
Absolutely correct. Exactly what I was thinking about, Enzio. Do you have any suggestions, Roland?
I'm just thinking of what we could sneak on in there.
You keep
No ideas yet.
You know, no better health care for bodyguards.
We do all right. I put it on the Senate bill every time.
Okay, so are you guys gonna head down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, and Torbanese is probably like in the meantime before they head down, just kind of like open some books and read them, and then yeah, whenever Enzio and Roland are ready to go, we'll start heading our way down.
Okay. As you make your way to the train terminal, you're going to notice that there are no posters.
Still, no posters. Have you guys
Aaron,
seen Aaron the past couple days?
I haven't. I have been looking for these posters, and you know what? Let me message him real quick, and Torbanese is gonna send a message to him saying, "Where
He
are my
normally
posters?"
has the coffee most mornings. Where's? I just realized he hasn't even been doing that.
Failures on so many levels.
There's
I
something weird about that kid.
think we may end up just needing to. I mean, it's been days at this point. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen posters up. We might just need to hire a new
We
person
can
for this.
we can definitely look for someone. Roland, do you mind assuming the duties that Aaron used to accomplish in the meantime?
Yes, I mind.
We will find someone then.
And so you've now sent off the message. You guys are gonna get on to. Are you taking the train down, or are you guys going to take a private transportation?
So is
We
Jagex
ride
ready?
Jagex. We have to
Are
be
they ready
seen
to
in
start giving
Jagex.
us
Okay.
transportation?
Yeah, I mean, if you want them to provide you transportation, you like right now you can, or you can take one of your own Jagex vehicles, which I believe Roland is normally your driver for.
Goddamn right. Roland hops in the driver's seat and fires that bad boy up and he says, fucking get on in, Torbanese. Enzio too, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, he's gonna Torbanese jump in the back. And is it like a limo type vehicle, or what? What kind of vehicle is it?
So since this is the one that you own, this is a little bit more of like uh a like
Like a
richer
Rolls
person
Royce?
sedan. Yeah, kind of thing where you're like sitting in the back and then your driver's up front. Like it's not super like spread out, but like there's a noticeable difference in quality between the front and the back where like the front's nice, but the back is really nice, you know.
So, was this where was this vehicle located?
So this probably would have just been like stored in a lower level of the tower. So this is a vehicle that has the ability to fly. So it's not like it needs to be on the ground floor. You guys could have stored like you guys work on the 20th floor and the elevator like dropped you off at the 19th. This could have been on the 18th floor for all it matters. Like, but it would have been somewhere close to the tower, just you know, for
So,
emergencies.
Roland being the excellent bodyguard that he is, he does daily maintenance on the vehicle to make sure that it's always in top tier condition when we need it. But over these last couple of days/weeks, he was working on a project and he painted the car with a big portrait of Torbanese, and it says "Vote Torbanese" on the vehicle, and then Jagex logo, on the front hood. And so when Torbanese and Enzio walk in to the garage or wherever this car was parked, they immediately, I tell them, so I've been working on this. Thought this could be very good for the rally. Torbanese, hope you are impressed.
This is a better depiction of me than I would have thought you would have been able to put on this.
Why is there a pimple over there on your left eye?
Well, see, at the time, the picture that I had of Torbanese, I think he forgot to do his skincare that night.
Torbanese is gonna look at you with like a quick glare. And just, I never forget my skincare. And as he,
real quick, Roland, will you roll performance to see how well this is painted? We're
I
gonna
was
make
waiting for that.
it's a vehicle, so we're gonna make this a DC 15.
Ooh, a 19 minus 2.
Ooh.
Okay, so
go.
you barely beat it. We're not gonna say that this is like wildly impressive, but you can tell it's Torbanese for sure, and the words are legible.
Spelled
there-
right.
I think the part that you did best was the Jagex logo on the front hood, though.
Gotta
Just
rep
because
those
whenever
sponsors.
you were working on it, you could just kind of like take a step back and look at the actual logo, and then whereas it's a little bit harder to paint Torbanese while looking at a tiny screen on your arm or whatnot. So
What can I say? I'm talented.
you guys all hop in the vehicle?
Yeah, Torbanese is gonna hop in and he's gonna press the button for the massage seats to start massaging him.
Yeah. Enzio, are you sitting up front next to Roland, or are you sitting in the back?
Oh, no, I'm in the back.
There's only
Okay.
one seat in the back, Enzio. That's kind of weird.
No.
Roland turns around to Torbanese. So, sir, would you like to fly or would you like to drive?
Let's take to the air.
And he presses the button that flips the wheels inside, and it just hovers up, and we take off.
Yep. And that is where we're going to end this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Ursa Red is directly supported by our subscribers on the Tactical Crits Patreon. If you want to listen to content we have already released, you can find us on most podcasting platforms at Ursa Red. Once you finish that, go listen to Legion of Dice, another one of our Tactical Crits podcasts. If you want to get notified on new content, please like and subscribe. We would love to hear from you, so please leave a comment or engage with us on social media at Tactical Crits, almost everywhere. Thanks. See you next time.